Awesome. So I'm really excited for today. I'm really excited for every conversation that we have all the time. But I'm really excited about today because I feel like when we're facing those obstacles or when we feel like we keep hitting a brick wall or when something like a negative thought just keeps spiraling or when we feel like we can't move past something, it's like this impossible task that just won't solve itself, and no matter what you do it can't be solved. This is like the juice of what I want to talk about. This is the meat, because everybody like kind of grazes over, just stay in a positive state. It's going to work out for you. Don't worry. And you're like, of course, I know that to some degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't be trying. But it's like, how do you actually break the cycle? How do you actually um, have a breakthrough? How do you actually see change? How do you like all of those things? Right. So let's get into the meat of it. And you guys know I'm very cut and dry. So I don't sugarcoat things. I'm not here for you to like me. I am here for your transformation, to tell you the truth. And you can take it or leave it. And that's okay. It won't hurt my feelings because literally I operate from unconditional love. Like, take it or leave it. I know it's all divine orchestration anyway. So I'm going to start off with I titled this originally "Nothing is a Mistake," but I really think it should be called Dancing with the Beast that you're facing. And this is really, really important. So I know that in my personal journey, um, that like this last year for me specifically was really internally challenging and hard, right? Like, if I told you guys, it's all been on finances, right? Because you guys know I'm all transparent with you. I have nothing to hide. Okay, you guys only have something to gain from my stories and what I share. Finances have been rough. It's like been probably the second worst year financially in business in my life. And I would send out email marketing, and I would, travel different places, and I would make reels on Instagram, and I created a course this year, and so my finances this year have been like under a microscope. And the whole time I was like, it shouldn't be this way. If I'm so smart and if I'm so good at what I do, why can't I get paid for it? Um, if um if I'm so good at copy, because I have other business owners that come to me and have them help me with, or have me help them with their copy, with their like marketing and things like that, because it does speak to people, then why can't I break through? And it was all this: I shouldn't be here. I should be making this much money. This isn't fair. Why do I have it harder than everybody else? And I spent most of the year wishing that it were different. I spent most of the year wishing that it was different, and it was challenging my confidence and what I'm capable of, and if I'm even good, if I'm even special, right? It was very challenging, very hard. And then I came to this epiphany, which I'm going to share with you guys today, and things are changing rapidly. I have now opened an office in Sedona, and I am now, today, I'm actually meeting with somebody to co-host retreats with. And, Sherry and Brooke, you guys are a manifestation of the new level of financial abundance, right? I have 2 new people in Patreon. My YouTube channel got like 12 or 13 new subscribers just in the last week. So things are shifting, but it was when I was wallowing. And don't get me wrong, I do think that there is a place for negative beliefs, negative emotions to come up. You guys know this. Those negative beliefs, negative emotions are actually gifts. But when you're saying it shouldn't be this way, or I shouldn't feel this way, or this isn't fair, or you wish that it was different, or one thing that I did was I was so hung up on the future. I was so hung up on, well, I'm going to be there one day and I just want to be there now, right? I'm going to be there one day, and I'm invalidating myself, who I am now, because of where I see I'm going to be in the future. And that right there is the core problem. That right there is what's causing the suffering. Okay? Because here's what is true. It belongs. It belongs there. It's there for a reason. Okay? And I don't mean to sound like, conventional wisdom, spiritual mentor, BS, right? We're going to dive deeper than that because it's a lot deeper than that. But having this acceptance for the beast that you're facing, because if you keep trying to hide from the beast, you're not only disempowering yourself, and you're saying that this beast that I'm facing is stronger than I am, which is not true, but also all of your decisions, all of your, like when you fear something and you don't face that fear and you do everything to avoid it, then you make decisions based on that beingness of fear, which then makes it happen. Because what are you actually vibrating? Fear. You're making decisions based on fear. So if you learn to dance with the beast, you'll find out it's just like Scooby-Doo. The mask gets pulled off and it's just a human, right? Or in this case, it's just a lesson. But remember, there's this theme going on. It's like this thing about going through it, dancing with the beast, going to the shadow, so that you can get that golden shadow, find that gift that is your specific genius or your specific wisdom, your specific gift to the world. Or, hey, if I don't have to repeat a cycle again, that's good enough for me. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be this infinite wisdom that comes from the cosmic consciousness of light, right? Like, if I don't have to repeat that mistake again, dude, I'm good. Right? So let's dive into it. So the more anger, the more resentment, the more you scowl at it, the more you hate on it, the more you despise it, the more power you're giving that. That beast is going bloop, 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 right? The reason why this happens is because you're invalidating it. You're making it seem like it's unpurposeful, like it's not beneficial. And everything, as Bashar says, everything serves double duty. So everything is inherently neutral. It's whether you perceive it as negative and that it's your demise and that it sucks and that it's part of your detriment, or it's a stepping stone. It's a milestone. And I know that when you're in the thick of it, trust me, I know I learned this the hard way this year. Lots of tears, lots of crying, lots of sadness, lots of grief. Okay? When you're in the thick of it, it's hard to perceive that. And there's, multiple reasons, right? Like your nervous system, you can't think beyond what you feel, things like that. You're like, as Maggie says, you're holding on to a mustard seed of hope, right? So anything can serve double duty. It's what you allow yourself to perceive in that situation, or how you're going to use it. Is it going to be an anchor, or are you going to use it as a stepping stone? And sometimes the hardest part is figuring out how it's the stepping stone, because it feels just like an anchor all the time. And so it's navigating, and sometimes you don't get the answer right away. It took me, I don't know, April is when it really started getting intense for me. So it took me up until like a few weeks ago to figure this out, since April. Okay? And I'm not saying that's your truth or that's your timeline, because it could be a quicker, and God, I hope it is quicker for you. But truth is I was divinely protected the whole time. And if you are serving a higher mission, if you are serving a higher calling, if you are serving on a divine spark, intuitive path, you will be protected, even if it's frustrating. So I don't know if you guys are Star Wars fans. I love Star Wars, right? And specifically, I love the story with the clones. I love the clones. I love Clone Wars. I love Bad Batch. Love it. One thing I've noticed is that with the Jedi, because I really resonate with the Jedi. So the Jedi take the resources that are around them and use them to their benefit. So even if they find themselves, let's say they're having, they're with a separatist leader in a cave, they use the rocks around them in the cave to make it work. See, the circumstances are not always ideal, right? Like when you have a ship that's falling into a planet, an unknown planet with unknown, species and things like that, that's not ideal. But the Jedi doesn't look at the falling ship. He says, what is the next step to my goal? What is the next step to conquer this? Even if it's just the next right step. The Force finds a way because of that belief, because they're in tune. Even though they're in the falling ship, they find out that there was some random wires that they could put together, and then boom, it gets fixed, right? But you have to be in that place of receptivity. And when you're in anger, when you're in frustration, you're not in that place of receptivity. And I want you to know, of course, it's okay. It is okay to feel that anger and that rage in its fullest capacity. But you feel it and then move on. So when you invalidate it, when you cycle through and you invalidate it, it shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't have to go through this. People shouldn't treat me this way. I should be, in my goals right now. I should have clients right now. I should this, I should that. I should be healthy by now. All of that. You're invalidating the gift that is underneath all of that guck. And so if you could think of it like the FedEx guy, this thing, this impossible task, this brick wall is the FedEx guy. And he's knocking at the door and saying, I have a message for you. But you're not answering because you don't know what the FedEx guy is bringing you, right? Or you don't know who's at the door. You just know that you're in the middle of watching TV or you're in the middle of cooking and you don't want to be disturbed right now. You didn't invite anybody over. You didn't send an invite out, right? They keep knocking and they keep knocking until you sign for the package. You have to sign for the package. And then the FedEx man goes away and then you can go about your business with the package sitting in your living room or with you. And you got to decide whether you're opening it or not. But when you invalidate it, because all things in existence still have higher meaning. Even the guys, and I know how this might sound, but even the evil, even the dark still serves a purpose of light. It always serves a purpose of light. The dark is the way that we illuminate the path to the light, right? That's how we find it. If I lit a match right now, the light wouldn't be as prominent. But if it was in a dark room, you guys would be able to see it like that, right? It belongs there for a reason, and we must embrace what we're facing. We must find beauty in the beast. So what I want you to take from this today is don't invalidate what you're going through. I want you to embrace it with loving arms. I want you to embrace it with loving arms. But first, you got to get to a place where you're okay with the fact that you're dealing with it. And it takes time. It's not instant. I'm telling you, sometimes it's not instant. But we could put out there for an instantaneous, miraculous healing. And that's another thing, guys. How many times are you asking Creator, your guides, Source, Universe, God, whatever you want to call it, how many times are you putting out there, show me a miracle, or show me the path, give me clarity, take this. Okay, and here's another thing. This goes into the second part that I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to explain it here. Now, those of you who listen to Bashar, you'll be very familiar with this. For those who are not, this is going to be very inspiring to you. And I fully believe that we operate this way. I fully believe it because I've seen it like change my life. Okay, so let me go into a space of channel for this. Okay, so when you come down here, like when you materialize into physical reality, your mind is split. You have your physical mind, and then you have your higher mind. Okay? Your higher mind is the part of you that is still fully connected to spirit, fully immersed in the non-physical realms. Your higher mind knows all the soul contracts, knows the right path for you to go, knows all of those things. The physical mind, however, can only see like 200 feet in front of it, right? And so here's the thing. If you're only using your physical mind and you're using your physical mind to try and predict the future or try to make something happen, you're not using your physical mind in the proper way. It's like trying to use a hammer as a screwdriver. It's just not going to work. The physical mind is only designed to process what is happening. It is the processing system to communicate with the higher mind on what is going on in this reality. What are you facing? And then share that with the higher mind. And then from that, the higher mind, because it's completely self-organizing, goes down and tells you information via your intuition, via ideas, via synchronistic opportunities, via, numbers, via whatever, peacock feathers, right? And it communicates to your physical mind to process what's happening and go back. And it's a constant feedback loop. So when you're trying to figure out how you're going to get your machine back, or when you're trying to figure out how things are, why things aren't working out for you, or you're trying to figure out how the path is forward to become, a traveling personal fitness or hosting classes, right? When you're trying to figure all of that out, you're smoking out the system. It's not what it's designed to do. It's only designed to take this information from the higher mind and execute and then give feedback to where we are or where you're at so the higher mind can calibrate accordingly. There's certain things that we're not meant to understand or cognize. If it's like trying to explain to a toddler how their brain is going to develop. They're not going to be able to fully get it. But you as an adult can, right? That's like the higher mind. So the more that we let go, the more that we entrust in Creator, trust in the path, the more we embrace the obstacles and use the obstacles to our benefit, the quicker the lesson is going to be learned and the quicker the cycle is going to break and the quicker all of that stuff. But I want to remind you that you can't be doing these things for the sake of it being quicker. You can't be doing these things out of the space of scarcity. You have to be doing these things for the sake of I am for the full embodiment of your beingness and your wisdom, for the full embodiment of the higher knowing of the path. Okay? So I have some questions for you guys I just want you to ponder. I'm going to close my eyes, go into a space of channel again. And then we'll leave it open for Q&A for any specific questions. It could be about this topic or it could not be about this topic. Okay? Could be anything. Okay, so going back to facing the beast that you're dancing with. I want you to first identify what is the beast. What is this impossible task? And I want you to kind of sit in that space and be okay that you're sitting there. Be okay that you're feeling it. Be okay that it's around in your mind, in your head, coming through your heart. Be okay with that. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not invalid. It serves a purpose. Now, what is your inner dialogue about that thing? What is your inner dialogue about this beast? This impossible task. Now I want you to take a step outside of yourself. So if you want to imagine an arena, or if you want to imagine some sort of space with the beast and your collective thoughts and feelings about it, and I want you to remove yourself from that and see the bird's eye view. Can you see how this is feeding the beast? Can you see how this is giving the beast this illusion of power over you? Now, before you go judging yourself for that, before you go judging yourself for the way you've been thinking, the way you've been feeling, the way you perceiving it, stop. Because you can't hate yourself into love. You cannot judge yourself into transformation. You cannot self-inflict negativity to get into positivity. It's not how it works. Observe. Let's say that the ship is going down, Master Jedi. What resources, even if it's just your thoughts, even if it's just a new way of perceiving, maybe it's a tool like meditation, like journaling, like painting, like walking, whatever it is, expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. What resources are you going to use around you to help facilitate in embracing that beast? Because once you can become friends with it, once you realize that it's there for your higher purpose and for your higher divine timeline and for a higher level of consciousness, then you will embrace it as a friend. Then you will embrace it and acknowledge it as a gift. So then what is the real deep-rooted fear? Because the beast is just an illusion. It's almost never surface level. What is that deep-seated fear? And if it feels painful, if it feels uncomfortable, I want to remind you that all pain, all physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all pain is resisting the natural self. This belief that feels uncomfortable is not congruent with the natural self, with your natural state of being, with your divine essence. That's why it doesn't feel good. But it's a huge flag to tell you what doesn't belong. right? If it's not congruent, if it's not in alignment with the natural self, then we must let it go. It's a gift because it's showing you where there's a thorn in your side that needs to be picked, but we don't invalidate the thorn. We think the thorn. Can you love that fear? I have a belief that there is nothing that I cannot love. There is no one that I cannot love. There is not one thing about myself, good or bad, because I'm not perfect. Can I love myself even in my bad, even in my mistakes, even in my naivety? There is not one part of me, there is not one part of you, there is not one part of life that I cannot love. And love doesn't mean that it feels great. Love means that you have an unwavering acceptance for it. And you recognize that it's there. And then you choose to be an alchemist and use this as a stepping stone. Because that's what it's meant to do. It's not meant to hurt you. It's not meant to punish you. God, I know that I could be a huge self-loather. Can you trust the process? When you fall in love with the process, it does not matter about the destination. When you fall in love with the process, when you fall in love with the unearthing of your deepest, darkest demons, and you fall in love with your highest peaks of celebration, when you could fall in love with the process, the destination is a bonus. So my question to you is, can you fall in love with the process? With the process of death and rebirth? With the process of obstacle and victory? Not just victory, not just love, not just light, not just celebration, but can you fall in love with obstacle, with challenge, with heartbreak, with being unseen, with being misunderstood? Can you be love through that? So I want to bring you back to the space with the beast, who's actually your friend. It's okay if it doesn't feel like it. It's okay if you don't perceive it that way. Don't judge yourself for how you should be thinking of it or how you should be perceiving it. Should is a toxic, toxic, toxic word. It invalidates you. It invalidates your existence. It invalidates your reality. It's bullshit. Stop saying should. Okay, so I feel like I need to bring this back in a little bit. So right now, can you love yourself even with your demons? And now love doesn't necessarily mean, remember, it's not always joy, happiness, I'm amazing, I'm so confident, I can conquer the world. Yes, that's nice and I love being in that place, but that's surface level. Can you understand? Let's forget the word love. Can you understand your demons? Can you understand the heartbreak instead of judging it? Instead of saying it shouldn't be there or you shouldn't feel this way because you're supposed to be love and light. Can you understand? Can you get it? Can you get it? Can you get why it's there? And not wish it were different. Not wish that it weren't there. Not ignore it. Don't invalidate it. Even your darkest demons are still as beautiful and as glorious of you in your full light. These demons are beautiful. These demons are glorious. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. The only one that's in a rush is you. This aspect, this part of your life, this part of you that's coming up, this darkness within you that's coming up. And remember, dark doesn't always mean bad. Dark doesn't always mean evil. Dark just means hidden. Dark just means unseen. Dark means subconscious. Wounded. This that you're going through right now is the stepping stone. So take the mold or take the powder, take the water or whatever you use to make cement. Use the resources around you and build a stepping stone. And if you don't know how, ask. Show me how to build a stepping stone. Show me how I'm supposed to alchemize this. Show me how to use this to my benefit. Show me, show me, show me, show me. And then have zero expectation about when the answer is supposed to come to you, how the answer is supposed to come to you, or that it's not coming to you fast enough. Again, every time you think that way, you're invalidating it, which prolongs the lesson. Because in each major lesson, there's also micro lessons involved. So moving forward, I know some of you are not fully resolved yet. That's okay. I'm leaving it open for Q&A. But for those of you who are finding some resolution, what can you do to embrace the beast? What are you going to do from now on every time you catch yourself invalidating? This shouldn't be happening. This is unfair. I wish I was just in the future by now. I should be here by now. What are you going to do to redirect yourself? What are you going to do to find the gift under all the chaos? The deeper you are willing to go, the more profound the gift is. Creator always rewards those who are brave enough to go deep within themselves, to find the highest truth, the deepest answer. And if you really are on a service to creation, don't get me wrong, you deserve the benefits. You deserve the financial freedom. You deserve full embodiment, happiness, love, and light. You deserve great relationships. You deserve great health. You deserve all of those. But if your calling is truly in service to others, that you do really want to help others heal, you will be protected. Even if you're going through all of your surface level stuff right now, maybe you're working on your money mindset, maybe you're working on your health, maybe you're working on relationships. It's okay to work on those egoic things. They're still a part of who you are. And it doesn't mean you're not in service just because you want to work on those things. It's actually direct opposite. You're in service because you're working on those things. Because, the Wall Street man doesn't care as long as he gets his money, right? You're working on your money mindset so that you can be an open beacon to help serve clients or to help serve humanity or to whatever have you. What is the one thing that you are going to start loving and accepting? Because that's also how you get fluidity, is by having acceptance for it. When I started to get a cold and I knew that I had this big meeting coming up on Tuesday in Sedona, I could have gotten worried and fearful and scared and like, oh, I shouldn't be sick right now. I can't be sick right now. I'm going to lose my voice, right? But I loved the cold and I embraced it. And I said, I know you're here for a purpose. So take the quick way and start doing that. I'm going to let you sit with your thoughts for a minute and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So I just want you to reflect on everything that's gone through your mind, everything that's gone through your head, everything that you felt in your heart. I want you to take note of some of the epiphanies or moments of enlightenment, moments of clarity. And then if you have questions, if you need help, what is it specifically? What is it specifically? Transformation does not happen in the general. It happens in the specifics. How can you better embrace the beast? You don't have to suffer your way through.